your wife, or your daughter?
Wife, daughter, mom. I'll fight anybody who disagrees.
Now, well, it's different now. Yeah, now I am a father. I mean, and it's funny because up until now, this point, we talk about it, and people are like, "Oh, wait until you have kids. When I'm a kid, you don't know." I waited. Now I do have a kid. I am a father, and I can still say to this day that my answer does not change. I will always choose my wife, Claudia. I will always choose her. And people who know me, they know that I'm obsessed with my son. But at the end of the day, my wife is my wife. I can never imagine a life without her.
I know you got creative with the whole voice messaging.
Yeah.
Sending something to us. We're gonna have kind of a transcript underneath that way we can follow along. But someone wanted to submit something that they were going through.
And they wanted
to hear
our feedback.
I want to talk about something because I guess I want opinions or thoughts. If I caught my significant other speaking to others inappropriately.
What the fuck? What the fuck is wrong with you? What the fuck is wrong with you?
Okay.
What's up, everybody?
Welcome back to another episode of the Coffee Breakup, starring Marvin Cho.
Yes. And Christian Vieira.
So, it's been a while since we've come together to the studio, and in that time, we've had a bunch of submissions of people wanting our reactions, wanting to get our feedback for some of the videos of what we've seen. We even have, for the first time, an audio submission.
Yes.
I saw you getting creative with
yeah, but I'm wanting to, because we usually ask people to send us questions and stuff like that. It's still anonymous.
Yeah, we'll review the questions, we answer them, but
I wanted to have people like actually call in. Eventually, maybe down the line, we'll have people call in live as we're recording. But I think for now, when people feel more comfortable calling in, it's not right live, but we do play the sound, the audio. And you can be anonymous. Nobody knows who you are, and then we'll kind of react to it.
But it helps us kind of, really connect with the audience. So instead of it being a video or just a question that's being submitted, this is actually you submitting how you're feeling. Like now we're actually able to get the emotion behind what you're saying. So now we're able to kind of get a full picture. And also you're very limited as to what you can type whenever you ask the questions. So this gives you the freedom to really express how you feel, what it is that you're thinking about, and really get your point across so we can actually digest it.
Exactly. And I think we'll have more of those type of things, call-ins and kind of like sending in voice messages and anything, feedback, questions, or something you just want to get off your chest. Call in, let us know how you feel. I think that'll be great.
Let's not forget, this is a platform, that kind of a community that we've built in order for us to share how we feel and really talk about things, be vulnerable, no judgment here. Every now and then, we do talk about certain things, but at the end of the day, we want to really say with opinions that it's real, raw, authentic, in order for you to really see, like, okay, like I'm getting this feedback from people who, one, I may not really know, but it's like there's really no bias behind it. So anything that goes through us and we feed it back to you, it's really coming from a good place of really trying to make the most sense of everyone's situation.
For sure.
Right?
I like it.
Awesome. So there was a couple of video submissions, and after all of them that we've gone through, there was a few that really stood out to us. How do you want to start the video?
Yeah.
We'll do it on 3.
The only member of your family that you get to choose is your husband, okay? Stop choosing projects. I don't know why on earth you would ever want to DIY this. I don't know who needs to hear this. Chaos in a marriage, not normal. Drama in a marriage, ain't it, okay? Trauma bonds are not soulmates. I'm almost 13 years in, and I can tell you the real flex, listen, is stability. The real flex is peace. It's feeling safe with this person. Life is already going to test you. Okay, you don't need to make it harder than it already is. Why don't you choose the one who makes you feel safe? Who just like calms your nervous system? Your husband should just like build you up, not break you down. It shouldn't be drama. It shouldn't be chaos every single day. This is literally the only family that you get to pick, sister. I don't know how much more clear I need to make it. It's kind of a big deal. It's kind of a big decision. And I don't know who needs to hear this, but I know somebody out there does. Or you need to send this to a friend of a friend of a friend and just be like, gentle nudge. I love you, sis, but this ain't it, okay?
Super true. Super true.
I love that video.
And I guess I never thought about it. Like, you can't pick your parents. You can't pick your sisters or brothers or cousins or nephews. But your spouse, that one you do pick. And that is your family. And by essentially, that's
it's the only family you choose.
You choose, and that's good. That's obviously parents are your parents and all that stuff like that. But if you plan on having children, that's gonna be your person that you do life with. Whether you get sick, you lose a job, who finds out first? Your spouse. You get, like God forbid, you guys have kids, they grow up, and all that stuff like that. You guys,
Who's left?
yeah, who's left?
Your spouse.
Your spouse, your husband, your wife. Kind of a big deal of choosing that person. And if you pick the wrong one, why continue to stay with that person? Like, I get it, life happens, people change, but you're in control. Why would you continue to be with somebody that doesn't bring you happiness, doesn't bring you stability, doesn't bring you calmness? So I love that video.
There was another video that we were about to accept here, but it's kind of very similar. That it's like, I feel bad for the people who are with their partners, but they're not best friends with them. And then I start thinking on my relationship. And granted, we're early in the relationship. Like I tell people I'm about to get married, and then it's like, oh, you're about to give up your balls. Like I don't know what the future is going to be like, but I can genuinely say today, like my fiance is my best friend. Like literally, we hang out. Like I look forward to hanging out with her. It's not like, oh, like let's go over here. Like granted, I like my guy time sometimes too. Like I like to shoot the shit. But if there's nothing going on, like I'm the first one to be like, I just want to hang out with my partner. Like I look forward to getting back after work, after the gym, or when we go to the gym together. Like it's fun. I actually have a good relationship with her where she's just not the one that I love and I want to marry, but it's like I literally can just hang out with her and it could be the best day ever. And I feel like that's what you want to find in a partner. We fall into relationships just because we've either known someone for a long time or maybe we've had a little bit of history, but it's never really been like a healthy history. But we just feel like because it's history, it counts for something. Mm-hmm. But it's like, what is that future going to look like? We always want to look back at, what moments did we spend, all these bad moments, but then it gets erased by one trip that we go together. It all feels great. You come back to where you live, and then it's like the same hellhole that it was before you went on the trip. So it's like, really think of who this person is and who you really want to spend the rest of your life with. Yep. Because it's true. You get to choose this person. And if you're going to choose them to be your life partner, make it someone who's going to be your life partner. Yeah. For your whole life.
For sure. Yeah. Somebody that you can lean towards too not just when things are great, because anybody's there for you when things are good and good. You make some money, you win something, blah, blah, blah. Everybody was their best friend. But when things are tough, who's going to be by your side? It's going to be your spouse. And if they're not that person that you're going to confide in, it may not be the right person.
I also think there's a video that Chris Bumstead, Mr. Olympia, classic physique, right? The world famous. He was talking about how, being a burden to your partner sometimes, like you want to be able to feel comfortable to be like, because we can't always be 100%. Sometimes we have our off days, we have our bad days.
100%.
We're struggling. And it's like you want to, like, that you're going to be a burden sometimes where you're like dragging, you're not in the best mood. You want your partner to kind of be a support system for you, not someone who's then going to clash or then give you problems or add to the problems because you're having something. And then it's like, how do you have that other person be that other half for you? Sure, right? Who's making up for the difference when you're not at 100%. Yep. And I think that that's kind of important where you want to think of that long term. Yes, things could be good today, but really look at all the details within the relationship. Make sure that it's someone who you're like, I could see myself forever with this person, taking care of me. I feel safe with them. I know that they love me. I'm supported by them. Not someone who's creating chaos or I'm gonna have to wait in the car for a little bit because I have to de-stress before I get into my own house and problems are gonna be there with my significant other. Like, think of the relationship that you want for the rest of your life. Is that what you want? Yeah.
Don't think the next couple of days or weeks or even months. Think long term.
You have the power in your hands today to choose what your future is going to look like. Yeah. Pick someone who you want by your side in those moments.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 100%. I like it.
So the next video.
So I'm not married, nor do I have a girlfriend, but I refuse to get married unless we can agree on these rules. And my parents have been married for over 40 years, and they agree with this list, so let's go through it. Starting off with number 1, we will never joke about divorce. I don't even want that idea being put out into the world and turning into a reality, even in the slightest. Next up, there is no 50-50 in a relationship. We're all humans at the end of the day, and sometimes you might be in a state to give more, and other times you might be down and you might need to receive a little bit more. I love this quote that says a great relationship is always 60-40, and both people are striving to be the 60. This one is huge for me, but we will never argue or put each other down in public. We will only praise praise in public and correct in private. I think a lot of people might disagree with me on this one, but I think a certain level of independence for both people is absolutely crucial. Your own hobbies, your own interests, your own happiness, because two people that are unhappy, that rely on each other for happiness is really toxic, but two independent people that are happy on your own, that come together to share your happiness is absolutely beautiful. There are just so many things I want to do and try in this world, and week by week, we're going to check those things off. Apparently this one's a hot fucking take, even though I don't think so, but no best friends of the opposite sex. Not to say you can't have platonic friendships, but you need to move with a certain level of respect and consideration when you're around them. This next one's simple, but I don't play about it. I love yous always and often, whether you're leaving the house, whether it's ending a phone call, whether it's before bed. Tomorrow's not promised, so just let your people know that you love them. You guys have heard me say this one before, but I really do mean it. It is never you two versus each other. It is always you two versus the problem. You guys are the team. Figure it out accordingly.
Good points, really good points. Like I hear this, and then it seems like this is like very. But we are also in this space where we kind of like not for anything. Like we've been doing the podcast for a while.
We're familiar.
Yeah, we're familiar. But some people might listen to this, and this might be completely new concept.
I mean, that video has 277 likes. If I see how many views it has, I mean, I have to look at it. But I would assume that it's over 1 million based on how many likes.
Yeah.
This is obviously new to a lot of people.
Yeah.
Right, where they see this and they're like, "Wow, that's great." I mean, it's been shared so many times with all the comments, so it's like, it's kind of obvious to certain things like that, and I think that anyone who lives by these, or at least can go back to these principles, it will practice a healthy relationship, ultimately marriage, if that's in line for you guys. But we talk about life partner for the rest of your life. If you're gonna have someone there, these I think are 8 traits or eight goals that you two can have to really guide yourself on or like tenets that you guys can always go back to be like, okay, as long as we have this in place, we know how we should be with each other, and we know what's a healthy and happy relationship.
And it's also like a great foundation that you can go back to. And like sometimes, life gets crazy, things happen. You kind of, you're not always going to be on the same page, but this is a great way to kind of bring yourself back to the beginning, to the start, and kind of ground yourself in these really good, I don't want to say rules, but good values and ways to go about your marriage and your relationship. I think it's a great way of keeping yourself grounded.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you look at these 8 things and you feel like any of them are off, or you don't currently have it, or if you discuss it and it's like, well, I don't really agree with that, really think about what kind of relationship that's going to turn into. Think of any scenario where that can be a problem. Think of no friends of the opposite sex. Granted, you can have, platonic relationships, but there's a level of respect that has to be there. Like if that were to be a challenge, like you really think about like, why would that be such a problem for you to do? Like, this is how I feel about it. Like, how are we going to be together if we can't even feel safe in this place? Granted, there's probably a lot more that needs to be dissected to really understand what the root of that is. But it's about having the conversation to really understand, like, hey, where are we? How do we feel about basic principles of what a healthy relationship should look like?
For sure. Like, makes total sense to me. Like, you don't joke about divorce. That word should never even be
thought about that, but it's true. Because you can like say joking. I've never actually, now that I think about it, I've never really used that. But couple that says that. It's
never, because
why would you joke about that?
And once you open that door, you can never take it back. It's like anything. Like once you
little bit of truth behind every. Just kidding.
Yeah, or like if I start like cursing at you, and I'm like, oh, it was just a joke. Once you do it, you can never take that disrespect away. You can apologize, but you can never undo what you said. Essentially, words have consequences. Words mean things. Be careful of what you say and how you say it. So using that word, I think it's like a nuclear word. Like you don't say it. It's like a taboo. You never say it. And if you say it, you better mean it. Don't say something you don't mean. You want to get a divorce, you get a divorce. But we watch that video. It's like, oh, I wanted to get a divorce, but then it's like I want him to fight for it. No, you want to get a divorce, you get a divorce. Last resort, if it's an abusive relationship, God forbid, but it's not something that should be even considered, thought about, mentioned. None of that stuff. So really good points. I like it.
Your wife or your daughter?
Wife, daughter, mom. I'll fight anybody who disagrees. Oh, how could you choose your wife over your daughter? How could you choose your wife over your mom? Hopefully my daughter moves out and she finds her own family. She finds someone who will make her their priority. That would be great. And my mom should be happy that I found a person to make a priority. I intend to spend the rest of my life with this woman. I live with her. She deserves to be my.
Or who comes first, your mom, wife, or daughter? We've talked about it with Dr. Heasty, other people, multiple conversations, but it's good to kind of refresh.
Remember the first time that we heard that,
Yeah.
we were like,
We were
"What?"
conflicted. I think we were conflicted. We were like, oh,
We were a little confused because we're thinking like, because if you have a kid, and I think most people's reaction is like, if I have a kid, my kid is gonna come first. Like, I want to make sure that I protect the kid.
yeah.
And then other people would say, "Oh, but it's your mom." Like, dude, you've known your mom your whole life. Like, she loves you. How are you not gonna pick your mom?
Yeah.
But it's I mean, I get it now because I am getting into a marriage with somebody else, right? That is a partner that I'm choosing. I feel like that is my obligation and my responsibility and my commitment that I'm giving to that person. When I have kids, eventually I would want them to replicate what I have with their mother,
yes.
and they will find someone who will feel that passionate about me and so in love to protect them. And I would assume also my mother has that.
Mhm.
So it's like, right?
For sure. Now, like,
Well,
it's different
like,
now. Yeah,
right.
now I am a father. I mean, and it's funny because up until now, this point, we talk about it, and people are like, "Oh, wait until you have kids. When my kid, you don't know." I waited. Now I do have a kid. I am a father, and I can still say to this day that, and even more confidently, that I've been with Claudia for about a year now. Like, it's gonna be a year that we're gonna get married. 5 month old, but thank you, 5 month old, almost 5 month old baby boy that I love to death. But my answer does not change. I will always choose my wife, Claudia. I will always
Really?
choose her. And people who know me, they know that I'm obsessed with my son. I'm so in love with him. We both are. But at the end of the day, my wife is my wife. I can never imagine a life without her.
So you can imagine a life without your son.
I've had a life without my son. I love him to death, and I've been
No, it's true.
and I want him to grow up looking at me and seeing how I treat his mother, which he's gonna love. He loves his mom so much, and as he gets older, he's just gonna love her more and more. I want him to look at me and be like, "Wow, Daddy really loves."
Like, look how
mommy.
happy mom is.
Look how happy. Yeah, I want to meet a woman one day and love her as much as Daddy loves mommy. And so I'm trying to be a great example. My son will eventually grow up and get older and to spend less time in the house and hopefully go to school and do all these things and meet a woman and fall in love and have kids and move out and have his own children. But Claudia, my wife, will hopefully always be here to the end. How can I like shun her down and say, well, you know what, you're not my priority anymore, and it's obviously, I'm not saying that my son isn't, but my wife is always going to be my wife. She's always going to be my biggest fan, my rock, my biggest supporter, and I can't imagine not choosing her.
It's crazy the responsibility that you have of even things like this, where the way that you live your life, like your kid is going to look at you and eventually replicate what you do, even without you wanting to.
100%.
You're even teaching him, like,
Yes.
hey, this is how you should do things. Hey, don't say that word. Or
Yeah.
if you encounter this, it's like, no, they're just going to look at you, see how you do things. And then in their head, they're like, okay, that's what I need to do.
Yes.
That's how I need to be happy. Like, look how happy mom is.
Exactly.
And I also think it's like, imagine if then your kid grows up, has a significant other, something happens where he gets put in the position where he needs to choose.
Yeah.
And like, he has a wife and kids and he's still choosing his mom. It's like, there's a responsibility, like you're choosing a life with someone. Like, that takes a lot of precedent in that situation where you can no longer look at your mom the same way. And your kid is the one that I can't speak for.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that you shared that, because it's true. Like,
For sure.
now that you have a kid,
Now I have a kid, and I'm like, I would want
look
him
at
to.
Claudia, you look at your kid,
Yeah.
you say,
Stiff arm her ass out of here. No, I would never. And so my wife will always come first. My wife might be always my priority. And I would want my son to grow up and find a woman, love her as unconditionally as I love Claudia, his mom, and kind of replicate that and be like, mom's gonna be okay, like she's my responsibility. That's my wife. I'll take care of her. You find another woman, you find a woman, you fall in love, you have kids, and you do essentially all over again what I did. And so Doesn't mean that I love my kid any less. Doesn't mean that I treat him any different than I treat, like, no, I love him to death and I'll do anything for him. But my wife is my wife. And so, like Dr. Hasty says, the love is the same. It's just the roles and responsibilities are different.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? Remember that? And it's true, like I don't love him any less. Dude, just look at him and brightens my day. I could go to I feel the same way about Claudia. Like, I have a terrible day. You know that. You go home, terrible day. You see Christina on the couch with the dog. Oh, my God, fucking everything else doesn't matter anymore. So, and that's what happens when you find someone that you truly love, right? We talked about it earlier. That's your person. They're supposed to elevate you and brighten your day. And so Claudia does it for me. And yeah, I'm just blessed.
I think of like
change anything.
I think of the situation where it's like, imagine, because anyone can say like, oh, but like it's your kid. Like, you can always find somebody else if anything happens. Like you should always pick your kid first. But I also think it's like it's your kid with the person that you chose to be with. So think of that as a team, as the system that you are. You chose that person to create this being. Like, that is the person that you have that bond with. So it's like, sure, like you can always find somebody else. The kid's always going to be your kid. It's always going to have your DNA. You know what I mean? It's yours, no matter what you say. But it's like, he's here because of the product of you and the person that you chose to be with, that you chose to be with.
Think about all the random events that had to happen in life for you and your spouse to meet each other and then date and then stay together, and the things that you had to overcome and then get pregnant, all the chances that it took, and then go to pregnancy, go into labor, all the dangers and the chances you had to take to create this life, raise them, and then you're going to sit there and say, you know what? You're done. This is all I care about. I could never. And my son is going to grow up and he's going to leave the house, and then it's going to be me and my wife. And up until then, but my wife is always going to be my wife.
I think it's like a time thing and an age thing, because you just had the kids. So I think if it's like a newborn or like a toddler where you feel like they're so dependent on you, and it's like, of course I'm going to pick my kid. My kid can't survive without me right now. But if all goes well, it's healthy, grows, learns, develops, we'll have his own life. We'll then date. We'll find his own partner. At that point, it's like, think of that person who they will become. They're not going to be a baby forever.
Yeah.
It's like eventually they aren't going to be as dependent as they are when they're a child. So I can kind of see how upfront you're like, no, I have to pick my kid. But it's like long term. Like, that's what we're thinking about. Who comes first?
Yeah, and it's not to say that, again, it's like the responsibilities change. Like, Claudia can feed herself. She can bathe herself. She can do all these things. The baby, if he poops, his diaper needs to be changed. That takes precedent over anything else that Claudia needs. Or he's hungry or whatever.
Same love, different role.
Different role right now. His needs right now are different than yours.
Right.
And on ours, even for our relationships, change and shift.
Right now, that needs
right now his
attention.
Exactly. So right now, his needs top out our needs for each other. But at the end of the day, he's a baby. So yeah, of course, what his needs are. But in terms of like, what me and Claudia have, it can never. No child could ever change that or take away from that, So yeah.
Okay, I want to go to the next one about the affair. Actually,
yes.
I think this is probably not want to say an obstacle, but maybe something that everyone may encounter in their life, and I think that you have a choice of what direction to take.
Okay,
so let's play this video.
You really can be attracted to a man who's not your husband. No one talks about this, but it happened to me when I had 4 children under the age of 5, and I went to a new pediatrician's office. I'd never met him, and I'm waiting for him to come into the room, and the door opens, and this attractive man walks in, and I was stunned. I thought, this is our pediatrician, and he was so kind. He looked at me and smiled, and he said, "A large family. I love large families, and you must stay home with them," he said with a smile. I'd never had a reaction like that living in Los Angeles. Everyone gave me grief for having more than 2 children. And then he looked at me, caught my eye, and he said, I wish my wife wanted more than 2 children. He seemed sad. He connected in that moment, and I thought, oh my gosh. It just took me by surprise to have such a vulnerable moment with a man I just met. And then he turned and looked at my son and started doing the checkup, and I thought to myself, well, I can pursue this conversation, or I can let it go and we can focus on my son, which is what I did. But when I left on the way home, I thought, why was I drawn to this man? What was that reaction about? A week later, I realized that I was thinking about the doctor. And I thought, oh my gosh, no. Is this how affairs start? I don't know. I'd never talked to anyone who had an affair, but it made sense to me that it would start off as a friendship, someone you have a shared interest with. And because of the fact that I had thought of it several times, I thought, I can't go back there. I don't know what this could lead to, and I'm not willing to risk it. I know it sounds like a radical move, but I felt I had to make that decision because I was invested in my marriage. Even though my husband and I were so busy, so busy. We were like two ships passing in the night trying to keep our family afloat with all we had to do. But I thought, I have a man I'm committed to. I love him. He loves me. We have children together. I am not going to play with fire. So I made a decision to cut it off, and I never told my husband. Why did I need to tell him? There was nothing to tell him. I took care of it. And I made a decision that even today, I'm really proud of myself for making that decision. So I want to encourage you that there will be times when you have to make a tough decision to protect your marriage. And you can do it, and it's worth it.
Ooh. That was interesting to me.
You think that that happens in quite many marriages?
The thing
on a
is,
micro level, maybe.
Think of us as humans, and like you deal with different people every day.
For sure.
I deal with sort of different people. I mean, I work at a bank, so sometimes I get new clients that come in. Sometimes it's the same clients, but there's new people that always come in that I sit with, and I have to help them with their needs. And I'm sure that they're bartending, helping them out, and sometimes you're probably chatting it up, sharing. You look working for your tip too. But you're there, you're vibing with people. I mean, you have to kind of like what you do a little bit, or like people to be in kind of the roles that we're in.
Sure.
In our jobs.
Yeah.
So think of how sometimes, and bro, let's be honest. I mean, you're working at a bar at a nice hotel. There's probably attractive people that walk there all the time. But then they'll come up to you, and you're a handsome guy too. So they probably look at you like, oh, look at this guy. I mean, you wear your ring.
Yeah.
But maybe even then it doesn't stop them, right? Where they want to talk to you anyways. So it's like you have a choice to how you play into that.
Yeah.
Granted, I mean, you're in hospitality and you're working for tips. So perhaps you want to play around a little bit just to get the extra dollar. I don't know. But I know that women do that. They're known for like, if they're a server, you'll be sitting there and they're like, oh, she totally wants it, bro. It's like, yeah, she wants to make money. She wants you to
That's
get
their job, dude.
Right.
She smiled at me.
Right. She must want me. It's like, no, she just needs money. Right?
Yeah.
That's what she's doing. So it's like you could choose to pursue that differently if you really wanted to. Because they might think like, oh, handsome guy, look how cute he is. Maybe your friends are egging her on, like maybe flirt with you or whatever. But it's like you can either choose to, oh really, or you can be like, hey, like I appreciate that.
Yeah,
there's a way. I think. So I don't know. I feel like we those are obstacles that maybe a lot of people come by, and it's like you have a choice right then and there to play into it or not.
It's great. That's a good point. I kind of look at it a little bit different. I think her case was like, it wasn't work. It wasn't anything that was part of her normal daily routine. She went to a new pediatrician, and then there was this really good looking doctor.
Right.
It could be, which throughout life, it could maybe you go to a new dentist or anything. Depending on maybe you live in a small town, you go to the same grocery store.
Dude, I even
same
think
person.
like teachers in schools. Like imagine you go and you drop off your kid and an attractive teacher
that you were like, am I having like a moment with this person? Or
she even said like, why was I thinking about him? Like after, like
exactly.
What about him? We're humans at the end of the day.
Exactly.
Like you make a choice to be with someone, but those things still come.
Yeah, for sure. Just because you're married doesn't mean that you're all of a sudden blind, right? You know what I'm saying? It's true. You got I mean, it's true. Like we're generally, I guess, considered attractive, and we have attractive partners, and you think they're never gonna? You think they're never gonna come across somebody who's a good-looking guy, or vice versa? You know what I'm saying?
Which I think we've talked about this before. The importance of taking care of yourself. For your partner.
For sure.
Like that's one less thing to worry about, right?
Exactly. So, I think it's what she did was obviously somewhat of an extreme, but I respect it. I respect the fact that she knows herself, that she's like, and she even said it, like, me and my husband, we kept this family afloat, we're passing ships. So maybe that's why a week after, she was like, why am I thinking about this guy? because probably work life has been so busy and so mundane.
And at that moment,
going through the emotions,
saw this one guy, a great experience,
refreshing. Yeah, like
Like,
wow, like okay, like
this is not like what I'm going through right now.
and what I'm
It felt
used
so
to.
natural.
It felt natural,
But
felt
it's like-
different. But it's like, but I have somebody at the house. You know, I have kids, I have a family, I have a husband.
Like
Like,
we just talk about like everything that you've built with Claudia, like,
Yeah.
like all that we've gone through for the kid, the pregnancy.
exactly.
It's like,
I'm literally here with my child that I have
With-
with my husband. You know what I'm saying? So she probably caught herself and like, wow, like what am I doing here? And who knew? This was probably a while back because she's talking about it now, but obviously, she
well, no, yeah,
probably
this was
young.
I think when she was younger.
Yeah, she was younger. You know, who knows? She's probably looking good and whatever. I respect it. I can see how if you're thinking long term with someone, you may find yourself in a situation. Maybe not a pediatrician, but could be anybody. Could be a dentist. Could be somebody at a grocery store. Could be a fellow. Maybe you know, you have kids and they're you know, they have friends and their parents or something like that. You know, who knows? But you have to know yourself and be like, you know what? I'm not willing to walk into that direction. I'm not willing to.
It's not worth it.
It's not worth it. It's not worth entertaining. It's not worth. Even entertaining is maybe not even be the right word because it clearly seemed that she wasn't really entertaining anything, but she kind of caught herself like, oh, wow, why am I feeling this way? And I don't really need to be doing this.
It's like such a subtle thing that it could
So
be nothing,
subtle,
but
yeah.
there's something there that's like, hey, by the way,
She knows well enough because, yeah, by all accounts, she had no reason to leave and find a new pediatrician, right? So, but she did the extra step and say, you know what? Let me be proactive.
It's funny because I think about it. It's like if you're not sure of whether you have self-control or what that environment that you put yourself in, of how you're going to react or what that's going to turn into, you do have the choice of not even getting into that situation.
Yes.
And I think that's what
Yeah.
she did, where she's like, well, is this how affairs start? So think of someone else that maybe made a different choice. They're like, oh, I'm going to keep going, and I look forward to going to the pediatrician.
Yeah.
Or like, oh, the kid's fine, but I think I need to do an extra appointment just to make sure they go because the smallest thing. And now it's no longer about the kid and making sure they're okay. It's about
Just
you
to have
and-
that conversation.
So yeah, you're having this side fling that because it was exciting, it was different from your norm. Maybe you had something at the house that you're like, oh my God, we've gone through so much. This is refreshing. I kind of want to feel that again.
Mhm.
So there's also that mindset that also exists.
Yeah.
But she said, I'm not even going to deal with it. Like, I don't
Yeah.
even want to know what that's like.
For
I
sure.
have something, I have children with this person.
Yeah.
I'm not willing to risk that.
But
For
and
something
by
that
all accounts, her marriage is happy, although a handful, a lot going on, you know, but no reason to even open that can of worms.
Absolutely.
So,
Absolutely.
yeah, I like that. That's actually really
Cool. So
Good
we
video.
have one last video.
Yeah.
This is actually the reason why I wanted to. It's a little bit of a longer video, but it's about essentially how you want to discipline your kid,
Mhm.
right? And you know, there's an old school of like, you know, the chancla, the sandal, you
Yeah,
know,
the
keep it
belt.
out, throw it like a frisbee. It's the kid. There's the belt, you know, getting a couple whippings, or maybe just good old fashioned front and back. What is it?
Yeah.
Abuse, respect. You pick which one you want.
I like that.
Right? So in this case, it's a little bit different. I've actually
Yeah.
been talking with Christine, and I'm curious how you also feel. I don't know if maybe you've had this conversation with Claudia about
Yeah.
discipline and how you want to raise
For
and
sure, for
kind of
sure.
your position. But I saw this video, and I'm kind of curious as to what the audience would say.
Let's do it.
I mean, the
Let's do it.
comments on the video are pretty good, but let's see.
I saw the comments too. Looks
for it.
good.
Where's your phone?
Baby, stop, I said.
Okay, chill. Alexa, stop.
Stop. Did you just tell your mom to chill? That was a question. Did you just tell your mom to come right here? Put your jacket to her like you. Push-ups.
How many?
Push-ups.
Okay. How many?
Count them. Go. Go. Count them.
2, 3, 9, 10.
Keep going.
How many?
Go. Go.
I can't do
Go.
more.
Go.
My gosh. 14. Can't do no more. 15.
2 more. Don't give up. Good one. Good one. Stand up. Squat. Count them. Feet flat. All the way down.
22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 42. 43.
No.
How much has he done?
Pause. Is this fun?
No.
Keep going. Keep going.
He's 58, 59, 60.
Okay. Do we tell our mom to chill out?
No.
Absolutely not. I will not let you talk to my girl. Absolutely not. Would I let anybody else talk to her like that? So you don't get to talk to her. Okay? Hey, I love you.
I love this video. Yeah. You know, he hugs him, he gives him a kiss. He's disciplined, he's firm, he's stern, but he also shows compassion.
And I think the most important part, and it's one of the most top, I think the top like comment, the best part was mom stayed out of it and let dad do his thing.
Because she knows who she's married, who's the father, and she knows this is the time for him to handle it and for him to show discipline. Because if he doesn't, or she interjects or whatever, first you're just going to further, I don't want to say reward this behavior, but you're going to encourage it. And it's going to continue to happen. And down the line, it's going to be not just chill out, like, oh, shut up, or throwing shit at the mom. We've seen all this, I've seen all those kinds of videos where kids are disrespectful to their parents, and especially their moms. And you can't even allow this stuff to happen from the beginning. So if you don't correct this right away, you're just kind of further letting them, become like this and kind of further kind of inhibit them,
What I love is it's kind of what the top comment is, because how many times do you want to discipline, or you have some sort of way of telling your kid not to do something, or you're scolding at them for whatever, and then the partner's like, hey, like, don't say that.
Yeah.
Or no, but don't do that. And it's like you're doing it in front of the kid. So now the kid is like, okay, he's telling me to do something. Mom is telling me not to. So it's like, now who do I listen to? No, then if she's going to tell him to not make me do this every time, then fuck it. I don't have to do it.
Yeah.
Because mom's going to protect me. Mom's going to tell me no.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, nah. Like, you listen to your father.
You fucked up.
You had it enjoy. Right? Now, another video that we saw, which was the one of him going over the 8 non-negotiables. One of them was about, I don't know if it's directly tied to this, but if there's a disagreement, you don't do it in public or in front of people. You step aside and do it. So I also think, okay, maybe if she didn't agree with it, she could also pull him aside and be like, hey, because if not, then the kid sees it, right? You don't want the kid to then be like, oh, okay, I can play this here. He tells me one thing, but she's going to tell me no. Fuck him. But it's like, okay, maybe you didn't like it. Hey, how can we do this differently? I think we should talk about this. Maybe I didn't agree with doing the push-ups. I had asked Christina because I'm like, oh, what's the alternative? Oh, we scare him with the belt. And I'm like, okay, so you're telling me you don't like push-ups, but you'd rather go straight to the belt?
Yeah.
So it's like you're telling me you'd rather that. Now, again, I don't know how I'm going to be a father. I don't know how I'm going to raise him. I want to assume I'm going to have good values and discipline him the right way. But I thought that was a great idea because it's kind of almost like military style. It's like you don't have a choice. Like, drop down and give me some push-ups until you finish. I don't know. I like that.
I like that. And, he didn't have to hurt him. He didn't have to touch him. He didn't have to touch him. But you can already tell that the dad does not play because he told the kid, and the kid was like, how many? keep going. And so it starts from a very early age on, but you can tell this kid is he's gonna be all right.
Yeah.
Gonna go up and with boys, you kind of need
the other thing. You're building him for the future and the values that you want him to have.
Yeah.
And I think that, yes, he's a kid and you want to protect your kid, but like, what kind of man do you want to raise?
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of what you want him to
so true
for.
Yeah. And the biggest thing is, like, as two parents, you have to be united front, and certainly in public. And then, like you were saying, in private, if you disagree, that's something you can voice and kind of converse. But you can't. Oh, but no, you're being too harsh, because then the kid's gonna see that and hear that, and well, I can act up, at least maybe not in front of my dad, but when dad's not here, I can act up because she's gonna be soft. She's gonna be, she's gonna go easy on me. No, hell no. You fuck up. Your dad calls you out on it, and you do what he says, And at the end, what was it? I love you. Sorry, mom. okay,
Yeah.
it's all well and done. You know,
I think a lesson was learned. That's what it
a lesson was learned for sure. And listen, within proportions, I'm sure if the kid would have said something worse, that belt would have come out, you know? So, but I think it was a great way, kind of, yeah, you choose. But especially when you raise boys, man, that's why it's so important to have a father in the house, because your roles and responsibilities are different than a mother and a father. You need both parties in a household on a consistent basis, because she was like a single mom and she was alone, whatever, or even a stepdad, he probably wouldn't even intervene because that's not my kid. I can't, you know, not to that extent. So this is a prime example as to why you need a father in the house, you know, and so you don't always have to become physical or violent, but discipline comes in all kinds of shapes and forms.
So I'm sure you're not there yet.
No.
But have you and Claudia maybe have discussed of how you'd want to raise and discipline?
100%. And again, you can talk about a lot of things, but once it's different.
True.
until you actually
But
there.
what's
you can have certain absolutely with disciplinary kids.
You may deviate from the
Yes.
blueprint, but what is a blueprint that you guys have said, hey, this is what I believe in, I want to do this?
And Claudia, we want to raise a son that is honest and kind and genuine and respectful above all. And I'm very respectful. I'm very like polite. Claudia is as well. And I would never want to have a son that isn't a reflection of me. You know what I'm saying? So, and Claudia, of course, as well. So if her son would act up, which obviously when they're young, you know, they do act up, they get disciplined accordingly. Whether that is
you're grounded,
no
video games.
Yeah, like I'm not
No
gonna.
phone.
I don't believe in like what is this called?
iPad kids.
That too, but also like the soft parenting, the gentle parenting. I'm not with all that stuff like that. I get everybody has their own things. I don't do gentle parent. I'm not gonna do gentle parenting. Claudia's the same. We're on the same boat. I'm not gonna fucking beat the shit out of my kid, but that's all this gentle parenting that's not for me. You act up, you're gonna get disciplined, you know. And again, it's the same thing. We have to be united front on this. So Claudia feels the same way.
I'm glad because I sent Christina, and then I was kind of talking to her about it. And I thought it was a very non-physical way of disciplining and trying to teach your son something, to respect, and especially to your mother, your own mother.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's true because like he was saying, like I wouldn't let anybody else talk to my wife to her like that. Would you let some stranger to tell Christina, oh, chill? Like, no, you'd be like, yo, don't talk to my wife like that. Get the fuck out of here. So are you gonna let your kid talk to her like that? No, of course not. So same concept, really. And yeah, I think it's good. And what Christina was saying was like, oh, we're gonna scare him with the belt. If you scare him, you have to willing to follow through. So if it doesn't work,
right,
do now.
Because then you're bluffing and they're like, oh, I know you're.
That's the worst thing that you could do to a kid is bluff. Whatever you're gonna do, you have to follow through. If you say you're grounded, you're grounded. If you give in 2 days in or half a day in,
or whatever,
now that you're losing teeth because he knows that she says a week, but it's really 2 days. She says, oh, this, but it's really this. Like they don't mean it anyways. Yeah. It's the worst thing you could do. You know what I'm saying? So Christina says, oh, we have to scare him with the belt. If he doesn't get scared, you're gonna have to use it. You're gonna have to use it. Oh, I don't want to use it. Well, then what are we doing here? You know. So I'm sure you guys will figure it out.
Yeah, I was just curious.
Yeah,
just brought it up, and
for sure.
And again, like we're not in it, but I kind of like that idea, and I also think like as a man, you know push-ups, and we like the gym, so maybe it kind of transitions into I want to get fit. Like this worked out for me.
Yeah,
but I just thought it was better than something physical. Although sometimes maybe it does have to result to that.
Sometimes it's necessary for sure.
I don't know. I would like to believe no, but
I don't know.
I think sometimes it's necessary.
I think so.
Okay, so before we wrap it up, we did have. I know that you got creative with the whole voice messaging.
Yeah.
Sending something to us. We're gonna have kind of a transcript underneath that way we can follow along. But someone wanted to submit something that they were going through, and
and they wanted
to hear
our feedback. Just to be aware, it's a little hard to understand. We'll put the
transcription will be on the
underneath. But for everybody who wants to submit stuff, please speak clearly because it can be a little bit challenging.
The transcription isn't also 100% accurate, so the clearer you speak, the better.
Yes, for sure. Please.
Thank you.
And I'm gonna play it.
Okay, hold on. Let me go to the transcription.
Yep.
1 second. Okay, go for it.
So, I I want to talk about something because I guess I want opinions or thoughts. If I caught my significant other speaking to other females inappropriately, more than one, and say, I confronted him, we agreed to block them, he went ahead and blocked said people, but then I blocked them, and has, I guess, says he unblocked them because it was for work. One of them owed him money or something like that. But that there's nothing that's going on, nothing that ever went on. I'm having trouble believing that that's true. I guess I want to give him the benefit of the doubt, but I don't really believe it. What do you think I should do?
Okay. So
long story short,
yeah, so
they agreed to block somebody.
Yeah.
And
so apparently, she's having trust issues involving inappropriate communications with the opposite
and homeboy is saying, "Oh, but I can't have them blocked because of work and
specific person. They owe me money, work, and
something
maybe
related
owes
with
me
money. I
or
need to
something
be
like that.
dealing with them."
Yeah. So based on the little bit of snippet and context, obviously we only have so much to go off. I always like to give people the benefit of the doubt, but if you don't believe him, there may be a reason. This doesn't appear to be the first time. Because I like to say, like, listen, if you have a clean slate, what happened? If there's a clean slate and you tell me, hey, I'm not doing this, what would be my reason to distrust you? Unless in the previous times there was something that you did that made me be like, you know what? Why would you do this to me? Like, I caught you red-handed. Like, you shouldn't have done this. So I like to believe, okay, I always like to give people the benefit of the doubt, unless you did something to cause my faith in you, my trust in you to be broken. So you, the listener, you have to ask yourself, has this happened before? Anything similar to this? The answer is yes. Then you have to say, listen, hey, remember this time when you did this? Well, how is this any different than from the last time? So, I think that person needs to, you got to get your things straight. If this person owes you money, hey, have them pay you back. Whether you block them or not, you have to believe him, because he can block you and then he can block them and then the next day he unblocks them or they get a new number. So the whole thing, if you have to block somebody for you to not talk to them, that's a problem. I shouldn't have to ask you to block someone in order for you to behave yourself accordingly. You know what I'm saying? Like, to me, that's crazy. I've never had to ask Claudia to block anybody, and vice versa. Like, it's just, your partner should know the boundaries, and this is inappropriate behavior for somebody who's in a relationship. They shouldn't be doing this. And if they cannot respect your wishes, then you maybe shouldn't be with this person.
I mean, dude, I kind of have like this like open door policy with Christina, to the point that we share locations with each other, which I know some people, they hear that.
Formality, right? It's like a safety thing. It's not really, oh my God, I don't trust you.
Yeah, no, exactly. Like, for instance, like, she'll probably be somewhere and then I'll be like, oh, like, let me make sure that she's still there. Or like, maybe she's on her way already because it's getting late. She's at someone's house, whatever. And I'm like, dude, like, what? Or she's doing a shoot. I'm like, oh, let me make sure that she's still there or whatever. Or if I'm over here, like, so if something happens to me, like, who else knows where I'm at? Like, I want my partner to know where I'm at.
No location.
But like, think of that mentality where I know guys are like, no, babe, I don't want you to have my location. Like, oh, for what? What's the point? And it's like, this is the person you're dating. What are you dating for? Like, if it's not for, the progression of life and to be with them for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
Say, dude, what are you hiding, bro? And why be with someone if you are going to be hiding stuff? That's what I don't understand. So for Christina and I don't think that we have that. I usually believe whatever's in your gut, it's there for a reason.
Yeah.
So if you're not fully content with the response of whatever that gut feeling is, then there might be something that's actually going on. And this might be one of those instances you said, like, maybe something's been going on for a while. Your gut is telling you something, and then they're saying, no, but it's nothing. Like, it's handled like nothing ever happened. But your gut is still telling you something. You have two options. Either Get to the bottom of it. Be like, listen, I get it. My gut is still telling me something else. I love you, and I want to feel comfortable. How can we make this? How can I feel comfortable? Because I don't right now.
Yeah.
Kind of see how they react to that. Because at that point, it's like, okay, well, do I want to be as honest as I can? Because if nothing's going on, you could be like, babe, like, you tell me what you want, like, whatever. But if they're also like, don't worry about it, it's not a big deal, nothing ever happened, why you tripping? Like, those are like, why would you not want your partner to feel safe and secure?
100%. Yeah. You would want them to be comfortable, and you want them to be at peace. Doesn't sound like you're at peace at all to me. And so,
which number two, if you're not at peace, then fucking leave, dude.
Yeah.
Like I know it's difficult and like it's hard for me to say because we're both in happy relationship.
Sure.
You're married, or about to get married, but it's like, I know some people are tied up where they're like, oh, I can't because of this, and they support me here. Like, you've given that person so much of your life that it's like now it revolves around them. Like, you can't go anywhere. But try to build some sort of independence where you have the choice. Because at the end of the day, and this has kind of been the theme of what we've been talking about all episode, know who your partner is. You want to be with this person for the rest of your life. This should be your best friend, that you trust this person with your life.
And you get to, at the beginning, what if you choose this? Is this someone who you want to choose the rest of your life with? Having children, getting married, going through thick and thin, getting sick, all kinds. You could lose your job. Is this going to be your rock?
You are so powerful with the opportunity to choose this for the rest of your life.
Is this what you want to choose?
Why choose instability? Why choose chaos?
And it's kind of, we're going full circle from the beginning of the episode to the end. Like, is this what you want to settle for? Because it sounds unsettling to me. If I'm not trusting this person that I'm with, then why am I with this person? So we don't know the context. We don't know if you're either married or have kids or whatever. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter, because you don't have to be with this person. You know, it should be a privilege for them to be with you, and vice versa. And it doesn't sound like it to me. And it sounds like you're settling. It sounds like you're distrustful. And it doesn't need to be this way. It literally does not. Like, it's not, we talk about it all the time. It gets to the point where it's kind of frustrating, where it's like, it's not rocket science. Being with the right person should be effortlessly, should be easy, should be simple, and you should feel at peace. You know, like, what are we
if you
doing?
don't feel like that, like, why would you want to be somewhere with someone that doesn't give you that?
Yeah.
Gives you the opposite.
For sure.
It's not
sure
what a relationship should look like.
Yeah. And we could go back and forth on this and this, but kind of encapsulate our message is confront him, talk to him about it, but don't feel like you have to be with this person. Don't feel like this is like a normal behavior. I've been with my wife for almost 5 years now. I never had to ask her to block somebody. I think that, to me, that's crazy. It's not normal. And let's not normalize this kind of behavior, because if this is what you accept now, imagine on the line. So those are my two cents.
And at the end of the day, if they really wanted to,
they will, and they would.
They would. So it's just think about that.
Can't
it's
control
not that big
of
a deal.
You can't control anybody's actions and behaviors and patterns and what they do and what they don't do. They block them now. A couple months, they find somebody, like, something else will happen. Trust me, don't go down that road. You know.
Life is difficult as it is. Let's not complicate it more than it has to be. And if you can find someone who can alleviate that complication of life, I think you're on the right path. If they're adding to it, to the complication, really think about, you gotta go. Think of what that's going to look like in the future.
Absolutely. Great way to kind of end off the episode.
I concur.
Thank you guys for tuning in, for supporting. I hope this helps. Any more questions, to send them our way.
And by the way, in case we're wrong, feel free to then send us another voice note. Same person who submitted, maybe there's more to the story that we're not fully getting. And this is an opportunity.
Follow up, give us feedback. Maybe something happens down the line. Let us know.
And to everybody else who's listening, we are opening the phones for more voice notes. So if you don't feel like, writing us the question is enough, or you really want to get your point across clearly, send us a voice note. That way we can listen to it and really get behind the whole story, the emotion behind it. And
sure. And it's anonymous. I don't know who this person is. Just be mindful. Please speak clearly. And
it was great though. Thank you. You were the first one, so we also want to give you kudos for that.
Sure. Thank you for taking the courage to send this message to strangers, for them to dissect it online. So kudos to you.
Thank you to everyone else who was listening, watching, and until next time.
Thanks for the support, guys. See you soon.
Peace out.
Bye.